If you buy property in Mexico and leave for several months, who can enter it, inspect it, and act when something goes wrong? A leak can begin. Humidity can create problems. Bills, repairs, access, and emergency decisions still have to be handled. So before you buy, determine how this specific property will actually be operated during the months you are outside Mexico. For an American buyer planning to spend part of the year outside Mexico, management is part of the property decision, not an after-closing detail. The available management structure can determine whether a property is the right fit to buy in the first place. A condominium, a detached home, and a professionally managed development may require very different levels of private oversight. And a property occupied only a few weeks each year may require more management, not less. Before choosing the property, confirm in writing that the required service is actually available for that property type, location, and pattern of use. The first operating system is access and routine oversight. The person or company responsible needs both written authority and practical access to the property when necessary. A key is not authority. An authority without practical access cannot operate the property. That access may be needed for routine inspections, scheduled work, or an urgent property issue. The arrangement should define where the keys are kept, who may enter, under what circumstances, and how each entry is recorded. A nearby contact is not a complete operating plan unless access, authority, and entry records are defined. Routine checks also need a defined frequency and scope. They may cover water intrusion, air conditioning and humidity, electrical systems, and visible property condition. The owner should receive a dated condition record, not only a message saying everything looks fine. That record, not the reassurance, is the evidence the buyer should rely on. The second system controls emergency response and repair authority. If there is a leak, electrical failure, storm-related issue, or broken window, the response process should already be defined. The written arrangement should establish what can be done immediately and when owner approval is required. It may authorize limited emergency action when the owner cannot respond immediately. Non-emergency or expanded work should follow a separate owner approval process. Repair coordination includes obtaining proposals, providing access, documenting the work, and confirming completion. But coordination is not the same as technical evaluation. Depending on the issue, the property may require a qualified specialist, contractor, building representative, or other professional. The manager may coordinate the response, but the appropriate professional should evaluate and perform the technical work. In a condominium, building administration usually does not replace management of your private unit. It may handle common areas and shared systems, while interior access, unit inspections, private repairs, and owner expenses may require a separate management arrangement. For the building's finances, rules, and shared obligations, watch before you buy a condo in Mexico. Check the HOA first, linked here. The third system is money, records, and owner reporting. Before you buy, you need to understand how utilities, service providers, maintenance, and approved repairs will actually be paid and documented. Some managers maintain an owner-funded balance. Others request payment after approval. The method matters less than having a written record of the authorization, the amount, and the purpose of each expense. Owner reporting should show when the property was inspected, what was observed, what was approved, what was paid, and whether the work was completed. The record should remain usable even if personnel change, or if an earlier authorization needs to be verified later. This is not primarily a question of personal trust. It is a question of whether the process stays verifiable when a decision, payment, or repair needs to be reviewed later. These operating systems are not reliable until specific responsibilities are assigned in writing. A building administrator may manage the shared property without managing your individual unit, while a caretaker or maintenance coordinator may have a narrower role than a private property manager. Before you commit, identify the role being offered, the responsibilities it accepts, and the responsibilities it excludes. The strongest evidence is not the title of the manager, but but the written scope connecting authority, routine oversight, owner reporting, spending limits, and fees. If responsibilities are divided among different providers, the documents should show where one ends and the next begins. The agreement should also define additional charges, termination terms, and the transfer of keys, records, authorizations, and open work to a replacement manager. A low monthly fee is not meaningful by itself if inspections, emergency visits, or contractor coordination are billed separately. Compare the full operating scope and likely total cost, not only the advertised monthly fee. Reliable management is not only an ownership expense. It is part of deciding whether the property fits before you buy. A property can fit your purchase budget and still fail your ownership plan if the required support is unavailable, undefined, or too costly to sustain during your absence. Before you commit, connect your expected periods away to the written management support available for that property and its likely annual cost. This matters when comparing a condominium, a detached home, and a professionally managed development. The property type, purchase price, and advertised monthly fee are only starting points. The stronger choice is the property whose required management system is actually available, documented, and sustainable for your real pattern of use. If that operating fit cannot be verified before commitment, the property is not yet ready to be selected. A management option is not enough because someone says it is available. Confirm in writing who is responsible, what authority they have, and how their work and spending will be documented. Until that system matches your real periods away, do not move from selecting the property to committing to it. Even a workable management system has to fit your full annual ownership budget. Next, watch what Americans pay every year after buying property in Mexico, because the property has to remain affordable after closing.